My next guest on Convos with Cody is a good friend of our family's, Alvin Brown. I've known Alvin for around 20 years. My brother and I grew up with his kids, school, baseball, and so forth. I'm just going to read the description that Alvin gave of himself because I might screw it up otherwise. So Alvin is a manual osteopath, NLP master practitioner, mindset strategist, author, public speaker, and entrepreneur. Alvin is someone that I've reached out to many times in my life when I just need someone else's fresh perspective. He's an amazing man to listen to. So without further ado, Alvin Brown. The first question I want to ask you is, how would you describe yourself in terms of how you are an entrepreneur to other people?
You know what? People like to put, I think people like to put us in boxes, right? What do? You're a teacher, you're this, you're that. And then once they put you in that box, they just, they're good. The brain loves, you know, familiarity. It kind of wants that in a way, but it also loves novelty. It seeks novelty, but loves familiarity. So, when people ask me that, I've never, you know what? If you look at my younger years, if you follow my history, my younger years, in high school, I entered high school. I started to wrestle, and then I did some martial arts, and then I started to dance. I met my wife, and I started to dance, and I started to do so many different things. I never, and here I am, 16 years old, taking up ballet, jazz, and tap, and all these kind of things. And there's no guys back in that day. You're talking in the 80s. There's no guys running to, not many guys running to ballet and putting on ballet shoes and tights. But you know what? I just want to do what I want to do. I want to live free. So that kind of, why I say that is it blends into my career. When I started my career, I started as a personal trainer, and I wanted more. So that led to me seeking out. I fell in love with anatomy, physiology. I just wanted to know the technicalities of that, and so that led me to. I didn't have a education background, in believing in myself that I thought sports was my way out of where I was. I didn't really put a lot of stock in education. So when the sports dream kind of faded, and I realized I had to put my hopes on another passion, education. So now I got to build a confidence. So once I started going back to school, I started picking it up, and the rest is just history. I spent 20 years going to school and learning. And so my career, like my athletic pursuits, are all over the place. Why? Because I'm an artist. So when you say how would people describe, I hope they describe me as different, an enigma, kind of, because in my practice, I do manual therapy of all kinds. I do energy work, acupuncture, Chinese medicine, mindset. I started working with the mindset with my people. I have an integrated approach. So my life and the way I am, if you meet me as a person, it's hard to put a finger on me that, oh, he's like this or he's like that. I just want to be known as a little bit different. I'm not trying to go out there and grab attention, painting my hair yellow and running around, but I want to be known as no edges, no boxes. So, how would you describe me and what I do and my practice is hopefully something eclectic, something different. You know, you're getting something different out of the box a little bit, but not too crazy, not too wild, but something out of the box, right? I hope
Be-
that kind of.
yeah, because I know from you, you have, and please correct me where I'm wrong, a
Hmm.
massage therapy practice, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, and you
yeah. It
mentioned,
it began with that as my
yeah.
profession, and then it blended into an osteopathy profession now. And if you were to come and see me, though, you wouldn't be getting what you'd get with other osteopaths. You'd be getting a blend of whatever it is you need, whatever I feel is that you need at that time. Some people, they get coach, they get mindset work from me with NLP, they get energy work, they get So I'm an artist. Yeah. So it begins with that, begins with one thing and it spread into other things.
When was the last time you had an employer?
Employer. That was 1990. Hmm, yeah, 1991, somewhere around there.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that far back because
Mm-hmm.
the next question I know that I wanted to ask you is there a specific point in time that you remember when you said, I want to be an entrepreneur?
No, because remember, back in the night, today entrepreneur is a thing. Back in the day, 1990s, the entrepreneur was a person who couldn't find a job, and they were struggling. Yeah, today entrepreneur is sexy. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. You know, you see all the School of Hard Knocks, and you see all these people going around asking people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So it's sexy now. Back then, you ask somebody entrepreneur, oh, you must be starving. It's next to being an artist. So it wasn't, you're either a business person or, white collar worker, where you have tech or you have something where you're into money, banking. That was a successful, but now you can be anything you want to be. So I've been an entrepreneur. I didn't go into being an entrepreneur. I went into being, not wanting to be a worker. Let's put it that way. I didn't want to
Fair
be
enough.
9 to 5.
So you said back in the day it wasn't sexy to be an entrepreneur, whereas now it seems to be. In your opinion, what has changed?
The look of it. I think, they say back in the day, getting a job with security was the thing. I think that's what changed. Security. Everyone went for a pension. If you could get that job, job, with the company taking care of you, and then when you're done, you get handed the golden handcuffs thing, and then you get handed your little 30-year badge of honor, and you get a little bit of money here and there, and the government covers you, and it's safe. Everyone was safe, and they just ended it. Whatever they do at the end of the day, they take their safety money and kind of live safe for the rest of it. No one wants to live that life anymore. Everyone wants to be, again, out on that edge. Once they start, I don't know who started it. I don't know if the chicken egg, did the company start getting rid of pensions and started giving people a different model, or did people demand the gig economy kick in where everyone has a gig? They're doing a little thing on the side. I don't know what changed. Society changed, or did the company change to meet society? I don't know. But something happened, and it got dissolved. The safety net kind of got dissolved. And then those who were still grabbing onto safety net, they had no choice because it's gone. Companies stopped giving pensions. They stopped holding on to people. They stopped. Your job could be dissolved in no time. Companies get bought out. Now, especially today, AI, there is no safety. That safety. So I think that's what happened.
It's funny because you mentioned, for example, pension, and there are other types of benefits out there, obviously, that employers can offer their employees as incentives to come work for them. Exactly. And I remember, I can't attribute this to any particular book or podcast, but I've heard enough business owners talk about how they chose to forego any sort of safety when they realized that sometimes, for example, an employer, let's say, gives an employee a benefit of some kind.
Yeah.
The value perceived by the employee and the cost to the employer can sometimes be two totally different things. So let me give you an example. I'm a lawyer, for anyone listening who doesn't know that. But I started my own law practice. I have a lot of friends that work not far from me on Bay Street in Toronto at big law firms. Yeah. And I know, for example, some of them tell me, and actually some of them have already started to shift to in-house because they don't like the lifestyle and so forth. Right. However, I'll give you an example of a benefit I know that is offered. Is, let's say, if they're in the office after a certain time, they can get Uber Eats delivered. They can get a car expensed to home if they have to stay late. Okay. And they might get, let's say, a fitness stipend or something like that might go towards fitness-related expenses because they want you to stay healthy. Right. And I think as I start to understand now the economics of how businesses work and kind of how the money flows from the top down, I thought to myself, okay, it might be cool that you can expense like a $50 dinner and a $50 Uber home. But, but the cost of the employer actually isn't that much relative to the amount of money they're making off your time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say? So it's like
Exactly.
I find sometimes, and I'm not just picking on the legal industry, I
Okay.
find that employers can dangle benefits kind of out there to make it look kind of sexy, but then
Yeah.
you're like, well, but how much is this actually kind of fairly distributed? Am I making any sense?
Right. Yes, you are. You are making sense. And here's my thought that came up when you said that. That just brings back that value is based on, it's a perception. You know what I mean? So I may not even offer money. I might offer, come up to my cottage, whatever, I'll make you dinner. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, right? Whatever. You're my buddy, and let's go fishing. If you stay a little late, let's go fishing. You know, it's based on, because even if I offered you $1,000 to stay later, if your child has a birthday party, that ain't even worth it. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I think that's where it comes from. You know, this nice little perk of, you get to tell you, hey, I have a stipend for a fitness, gym, and he stay, right? Yeah, so it's that's kind of, yeah, I get it. I get what you mean. The value. So because this lawyer, let's take the law firm. He or she stays, and that's them staying close this case that's worth 10 grand. Right, and you get a $50 stuff. Yeah. So, anyways, I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see how, and I will say this. Now, let's just escape this particular example now. I found that when I started my own business 2.5 years ago, from the time that I started and till present day,
Yeah.
my perception of the entire world has changed because the mentality of, I'll put it to you this way. I feel like entrepreneurs are modern day hunter gatherers
True. Fact.
where it's like, for me, I'm by myself.
Yeah.
So if I don't do work,
Uh-huh.
nothing's gonna happen.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, I guess I gotta fend for myself today, right? And figure out, like, how am I gonna pay my rent? How am I gonna pay for my groceries? And I find that when the incentives are aligned better, which I find in entrepreneurship, just for me personally, that my incentives are aligned much better, where if I, let's say, have to take a call with a client on a Saturday at 10:30 in the morning, I don't mind, because, if I don't have anything else going on,
Yeah.
I don't mind, because it's like, okay, well, then I can move this along more quickly, and then I can get my cash flow coming more quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm on a salary, it's like, whether I do this call on Saturday or not,
I'm getting paid.
it's not making a difference on my paycheck 2 Fridays from now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, and that's the. I have another friend. You may know him, but he's also a lawyer, and he was with a firm. Yeah, I think it was with a firm, if I'm not mistaken. But they demanded a lot on him, and his wife worked for government. The government, and she's also a lawyer, but she works for the government. And so it's the government. It's it's a check coming in, and it's pretty safe, and it's pretty in a box. And so, but he wanted to be out on that edge with the firm, because a lot of things are happening, and that energy. But they were having kids, and they were they were planning to settle and kind of build a family. So he had to make a decision. Does he want the long hours? Does he want the edge? Or does he want to go in the box with her for that safety piece, right? Where the hours are defined, blah, blah, blah. You come in, you go home. So it's kind of like that with what you're saying is the choices of what you want to get out of this thing. You chose a firm and not the safety and the box. Well, government is a different box, I guess, right? They're a smaller box. The firm is a bigger box, but you're out on the edge of the box, because if you don't work, you don't eat, and you go and doing things like this. This is part of the being outside of the box. You can have your little joy time doing extra things you your passion drives you to do travel. You love traveling. So the box, the no edge that you travel with gives you these freedoms, right? While if you were with a firm, you'd have to ask for time off, and depending on what case is happening. Anyways, that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah, I feel like if I was working at a law firm, there was no chance on how I'd be able to do what I'm doing with you right now.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly, exactly. And I know you, and you love travel. You love freedom. Freedom is
Yeah,
one of your values. The
it
ability to
is.
choose. Yeah, yeah. The ability to choose. You love choice.
Yeah, it's very liberating. And I've noticed as I have developed my business, for example, how obviously entrepreneurship can be stressful
Yeah,
mentally. You
yeah.
worry about a lot. So, to manage my mental workload or well being, I have since realized how important taking care of your body is. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like,
Mm.
the yin yang symbol,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like everything's kind of in balance.
Yep.
And I started to understand more when I started to take my health and fitness more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I started to see how it changed me mentally with two things. And I'm curious to get your feedback on this: confidence
Mm-hmm.
and clarity.
Yeah. Big
Very
time.
different.
Big time.
Can you speak to that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For me, so I've been doing this bodybuilding journey right now in the last year or so. I've been working in. So for the listeners, uh, I've been in the fitness field. I kind of tripped into it. I didn't choose to be in the fitness field, but I tripped in. I treated one person who was in it, and he happened to be the mouth of the South. He talked to everybody. He's smooth. He's connected. He was that guy. All of a sudden, that guy is bringing some of the best in this industry to my door. And when you bring the best, they kind of people are drawn with it. And so I ended up being one of the premier therapists in the fitness space in Canada and the U.S. And so for 30 years, I've been treating these people. Never really looking at it. People have asked me, have you ever done this before? I'm not, no, no, never. And so I just worked out to work out. So now I've been doing this thing. So people say to me, Alvin, you're addicted. Now, because I did 3 contests in a row now, I'm doing the third. Because when I lock in on something, I lock in. It's the right timing for me. It's a great distraction. It's a great focus tool. So my point for saying that is I've been working out for 40 years. Consistent, 40 years. Really, I can't remember, maybe vacation. Even then on vacations, my wife will tell you, she'll lay on the beach and I'll go find a gym and I'll be back in a couple hours. And I go do my thing. That's how I connect. So to answer your question, some people go out and have a smoke. Some people have a coffee. Some people have whatever they do to get themselves right in the morning. This is my right. My right is I could not imagine, Cody, starting my day by hitting an alarm, running in the shower, getting dressed, gunning maybe through traffic, getting to work, working all day, coming home, flopping in the couch, and call it a day. I could not imagine that. So, for me, my first 3 hours is mine. I get up nice and early, and I raise, by the way, listeners, I raise 4 kids. Been with my wife for 43 years. And so don't think that I'm being selfish. I'm being selfless because I have to show up for them in a positive, strong way. And as they say, this is an old, maybe beaten up quote, but put your mask on first. And you can't pour from an empty cup. So I realized that. So for me, working out, rewarding myself 3 hours in the morning before everybody's up is my way of now, because my job and once my family's up, I'm giving them my time. It's all them. And then I go to work and I'm in a service industry giving people my time. So people take a lot of me and I give a lot to people. I can't do that if I'm hitting an alarm, I'll be bitter. I'll be burnt out. I'll be done. And so for me, those 3 hours are my fill up hours. So, yes, it's great for the mind because mind, physiology, and psychology are connected. You can tell when you walk in a room and you see somebody, people, when you talk about energy, people think it's woo woo. It's not woo woo. We are readers. 93% of communication is nonverbal. So 7% is what I'm saying. The other 55 is my body language. 38 is my tonality and the way I deliver and my enthusiasm. That's what we're paying attention to. The 7 is just blah blah blah. But hey, people are paying attention to that energy that you have. And so if you show up with this physiology that's slow and beaten, looking like life's beating you up, that's the energy piece. So, and Cody, what I've gone through with my son, and I lost one of my children, my first son. I would never have gotten through that without taking care of myself. There's again, I love quotes. I call them wisdoms. They're not just quotes. There's a great quote that said, "You won't rise to the occasion in your life, but you'll fall to your level of preparation." So if you think when something happens to you, you're going to somehow rise to and it's going to happen. It's not if, by the way, it's when stuff happens to people. It's not if. No one is immune, by the way, to this, to stuff happening. But if you're not doing something to fill your cup to prepare, you will be broken. You will be broken because life will throw you all kinds of things. So to answer your question, to round it out, I'm a big believer. Mind and body, in taking care of it. It's the only thing. I work a lot with financial advisors, and they call themselves wealth managers and wealth management. And since I've been working with them, I said, if you're a wealth manager, I'm a health management. Because if I gave you $1 billion but told you have 2 weeks left, what's the use? So the best place you can put your time is into your health management, because health is wealth. So hope that answers your question.
You took those words at the end right out of my mouth. I was about to say, health is wealth.
It is like, tell me I love a listener, anyone, put a comment, wherever, send me a message. Tell me what is more important than your health. Somebody tell me. Is it my kids? No. They can't be more important, because if I'm not here, if I'm broken, I have a stroke, they have to take care of me. So tell me, is it my wife? No. Is it my job? Nope. Is it my finance? Nope. You tell me one thing that's more important than health, and then why do we put it 10th on our list of things to do? Anyways, That's my rant.
No, that's okay. I've heard this before on an entrepreneur that I follow who I love. Her name's Cody Sanchez. She's out of Austin, Texas. She's blown up on social in the last few years. Right. And on her podcast, which is called Big Deal, she had a discussion with a guest, and I can't remember who it was. It doesn't matter. But at one point it was, imagine if, let's just say someone like me, I'm 33 years old, okay? Yep. If I could trade places with Warren Buffett and have his finances, but I had to take his age, would I take it? Yeah. And I know it's very easy for me to say this because this is a hypothetical that's never going to happen. Yeah. But I forget how old Warren Buffett is now, but he's in his mid-90s approximately. Oh, okay.
Yeah, gotta be.
I will comfortably tell you that I wouldn't take that. I would not take that deal. Right? You wouldn't take that deal.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I want to earn that.
Yes, and look, obviously I've never met Warren Buffett, but I've read a lot about him, and I feel like I'm familiar with his mindset and so forth. And I can't remember if someone's ever asked him this, but I feel like that him or someone like him in his mid-90s or whatever, if he could give up all or most of his financial wealth to be 30 or 20 again, I think you would probably do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Because at the end of the day, Cody, I want to earn 90s. I want to earn it. I don't want to get it given to me, thank you, and miss the magic and the, you think I'm 58 now. I would have missed 30 odd years of magic to
Yeah.
get money. No thanks. I'll
Yeah,
earn it.
and I find too, I wanted to respond also to something that you were talking about when you said the first 3 hours of your day you like to be yours.
Yeah.
I, like you, get up very early, and
Mm-hmm.
it's honestly completely changed my life in a good way,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because number one, so I work out in my condo's gym,
Yeah.
and there's a group of us. We all obviously come in on our own, but I see pretty much the same people
Yeah.
almost every morning, and there's always a joke or something, and it's way too early in the morning to be joking around. But honestly,
Mm-hmm.
Alvin, when I get up, I'm excited. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to get dressed. I got to get to the gym. I'm going to see Angelo. I'm going to see Pete, and we're gonna mess
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And usually within the first 3 minutes of me arriving in the gym, either I'm killing myself laughing, or
Yeah.
I'm making someone else laugh because of something that I
Yeah.
said,
The
right?
5
And
a.m.
it,
club. Yeah.
yeah. And it's, to me, no better start to your day. And sometimes I almost want to say it's kind of the highlight of my day is the beginning, but I don't mean to say that to give the impression that maybe the rest of my day is a drag. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine a better possible start to my day than just
I
getting
agree.
after it.
Singing to the choir, man. You singing to the choir because, yeah, I can't, Cody, during my time with my son, I would say to my son when he was in the ICU, I would say, I'll be back, okay? And he knew where I was going. Because, here's the thing. Every time I returned from the gym and he saw me, I know intuitively that it gave him that. Imagine now, while he was going through his time, if I was sitting there broken and worried and doing a vigil, the way I looked at it, Cody, is he was present at that moment. And every time I came back, he looked uplifted and okay, Daddy, go and see. So that consistency made him realize there's hope. I wasn't over his bed. I showed up strong and it gave him strength. So you have to, yeah, even in relationships, like I said, I've been with my wife for 40 odd years. 43. No, 42. And I believe a lot of people, when they get married, for some reason, they think that's it. It's over. Let me stop doing the things. And it's only a divorce that makes them go back to taking care of themselves again for some reason. No, you have to continue that courtship. You have to continue to have your partner look at you in a desired way as they did when you met them. They have to look, because when Cody shows up healthy, keeping himself in you don't have to end up on the front cover of a magazine looking, I'm talking about, but I'm talking about showing up vibrant. Your partner is like, yes, and it's also infectious too, by the way. They show up vibrant too for you.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way street. My kids show up. My daughter is I'm blessed right now to be competing with my daughter, who is gonna be 28. Her and I compete together. My son, when he was here, he was healthy as well, and my other son is also in the gym. And so my wife works out. So I can't sell anymore your listeners on do it for you, because when you do it for you, you're doing it for everyone else around you. And I'll finish here with this. As I said, I've been working with people for 30 years. I've seen people come to me in their 30s. I've had clients who are in their 30s and 40s who come to me at the beginning of my career, and some of them are still seeing me now, and they're in their 60s and 70s. And let me tell you, if they don't take care of themselves, Cody, what happens is a couple thinks the fingers crossed and hope, is that we retire together, we travel around the world, and we go see Paris, and we go hike, and we go. And what happens sometimes, unfortunately, is either one of them falls to some health condition. And you know what the dream turns into? I'm taking you to doctor's appointments. I'm taking care of you. I'm wiping you. I'm pushing you in the chair. I've seen it. And here's what I'm saying. My mentor, Dr. Tom Hill, he's 90 odd years old now. He said, when I first met him, he said, Alvin, you might do all of these things and things happen to you. So I'm not saying this is a complete, you absolves you from shit happening. It'll happen. But here's what I am saying. He said, Alvin, put the odds in your favor. Put the odds in your favor. By doing all of this, you're not going to, no one's immune to things happening to them. You could work out all you want and have a stroke. But the odds, we're playing odds here. The odds are in your favor that you will have that reality of you two traveling together, you two doing this, you two doing that. But the odds of you coming home flopping on the couch and putting on 40, 50 pounds of weight, I'm not going to gamble at the tables. I'm not gambling at the tables.
You mentioned something earlier in your response about settle down. And I'm at the age where, well, and your kids are around my age too,
exactly.
where people start to, generally speaking, some of them will start to quote, settle down.
Right.
Usually when people say that, they mean I have my significant other, I might be getting married, or I might be moving in together, or I might be getting ready to have a child, whatever their plans are.
Yep.
But something that I've perceived recently is it seems as though the concept of settle down, when that period starts for someone, whatever that looks like for them, they're not just settling down their personal life. Mm-hmm. I almost start to see it's like they're settling down their career ambitions. They're setting, and when I say career ambitions, I don't necessarily mean money. Obviously, money is part of the capitalist economy that we live in, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But it seems to me sometimes people just kind of give up on a lot of other things when they settle down. Am I making any sense?
Absolutely. Here's a. Now, listeners, you're gonna hear me say quotes. Like I said, I change them to wisdoms because they are wisdoms. And here's a wisdom for you. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you take the foot off the gas in one area of your life, you take the foot off the gas in everywhere. And I think it's so wrong to blame the kids. Oh, since I had my kids, I put on 50 pounds. Did you have the kid as a guy? Were you the one that's pregnant? You know, I'll give that to the women to maybe have that excuse of, because you got hormones, you beard a child, you have different things shifted in your body. Yes, I will hand it to women to carry a little extra here and there, and they usually are taking care of the child and busy around the home, typically in the past, and it's shifting now. But what gives a guy an excuse to tell me you put on 40 pounds since a child? To tell me since I had my kids, I've never been. That's BS. It's complete BS. Because now you can put that child on the back of your bike and go ride for an hour. The kids love it, by the way. They fall asleep in the back. You can go walking, pushing the thing. Come on, stop it, please. Right now, I started this group with a person. This man, he's passionate about helping men elevate their game. So his real game is teaching men grooming techniques, how to wear proper and do. So lately, he's now shifted that external grooming into, I want to help men avoid their heart attacks. So now he's passionate. He's probably younger than me, and he's passionate now about helping men. He created this group called Forge. He's gonna forge a new brotherhood and all this kind of, and it's awesome, great, love it. So he came to me and said, Alvin, I know you work out a lot. Let's you want to join this group as one of our leaders? And you know, I've been in there a long time, so I'm stroking my gray beard and I'm saying, this is interesting. Okay, let's do it. I can use it for promotions of my program coming out soon, and let's do it. So we start with 30 men. Showed up, energy's high. Yo, let's do it. But you know, again, I've been in the industry for a while, and I know what happens on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Gyms are full, 3 weeks, and then it's empty. Right? I know. So here comes the 30. Ooh, let's go, brotherhood. Yeah, let's do it. Right? And then now we roll forward 4 months. I think we're 4 months in. I'm not sure. 2 showed up last time. 2 of the originals. So you want to tell me then what's happening here? What's happening all the time? So again, odds, man. We're playing odds. We're putting the odds in our favor, and usually, again, the foot comes off the gas. The foot comes off the gas in all areas: their relationship, their workouts, their business, their mindset. Everything comes off the gas. And also, what people, let's reverse that. When the foot goes back on the gas, some people notice that I'm more productive. My brain thinks faster. I show up to sales meetings stronger. People feel my energy. My 93% shows up stronger. So now I'm closing deals. Right. There's been many studies who show people are in great shape, elevating their jobs. Why? I think it's an inherent thing in humans, I think, so here's what I've been working on. I've been asking myself why we do things. I'm very much interested in people and why we do what we do. And I think on a deep unconscious level, when we see someone show up strong, we think they can lead the herd. They think that they can lead us to safety at the end of the day. That's why the strong end up leading, back in the day. They lead the herd, the tribe. Because we think we can put our confidence in them to lead us to safety. So when we see that in a company, the good-looking people get raises and they get elevated.
I've read stats about this.
Okay. Do you think it's just? Yeah, it's because on a deep unconscious level, the educated, yes, they're educated, but how they show up. We're buying confidence. And that's why some people can con people too, actually. They know that. They know how I show up is more important than my degrees and my 10 degrees that I've spent decades, or, I'm smarter than that. Why did they get past me? Well, it's how they show up. So anyways, my point is physiology, psychology are connected. Invest in yourself more than you do in your job. You end up living that life you want and getting all the riches that you want.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you have started, and I've seen some of your journey on your social media pages about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And a long time ago, I've talked to you a little bit about bodybuilding. For example, I remember a specific conversation we had.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about leaning out or body fat composition and stuff like that. And you told me, for example, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but the point that you basically told me was the guys that look super chiseled, they'll, in the most cases, they get like that for a competition, but it's very difficult to maintain that all the time. Is that fair?
On
right.
many
Okay.
levels.
Yes. Okay. So when I see, for example, someone like you competing in bodybuilding, Alvin, I'll be honest, I have zero aspirations or interest in ever competing in bodybuilding. It's just not something that, it's just, for now, I can't see myself being interested in it. Okay? However, when I see someone like you, posting your pictures about your transformation and the build-up, to me, that's inspiring.
Yeah, awesome.
And
that's my goal.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. Sometimes, when maybe you're doing a workout and sometimes you finish and it's exhausting and you say to yourself, oh man, like I really earned that one today, right? And so sometimes it's like, some of my friends they'll make fun of me, but in a kind-hearted way. Like if I post a picture on my Instagram story and I'm feeling my physique, and I'll usually put a quote with it, because I do it as a motivation tool. So my mindset is, I hope that this gets someone off their ass to do what they keep saying they want to do. And some of my friends will give me a jab to be like, thirst trap in the mirror. And it's kind of funny because I've never had someone say that to me that's at least in as good shape that I'm in. Exactly. But how about the fact, on my podcast, I like to keep it very conversational. I think people can pretty much say what they want. So if you don't mind me saying, how about the fact I'm just really fucking proud of what I've been able to accomplish, because I'm working on this between being in the gym for however long each day and making decisions about my diet. Like, how about I'm just really proud of what I came from, and I hope that this inspires you. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I find nothing wrong with it. Right? But, and that's the way I am too. I do what I do I post what I post for the exact reason you said. I hope it inspires, and if it doesn't, it is what it is. There's different people out there, and they think your motives are different. I'm not out there. Like I said, I've been 42 years, and there's no one's DMing me, and I'm not DMing people. And here's my take. Here's my photo take. I literally post, and I post. I love dancing and music, so I always put a music with it, and and show people. I'm hoping. I did a whole movement with my son after his passing to raise money for his foundation, and it was called Gotcha. Get your ass off the couch, and it was a whole acronym, and it was based on the idea. I'm just tired. I am tired, again, of men over 40 telling me they don't have time to whatever, again, I'm not saying you should end up on the front cover of Muscle and Fitness or Men's Fitness or anything, but what I'm saying is do not carry around a 40-pound gut with whatever's going on in there and inflammation. And I saw, I don't know how old this person was. I'm going to say 60 something. Not old in my opinion now, but 60 something at the beach. We were in the Cayman Islands, my wife and I, and I'm watching the couples, and they were not in shape, and he was trying to put his shoes on. He's falling over and just looking like, how old are you? 90? Like you don't look 90. Why are you acting like that? Like they're laughing, and and they were just. I'm like, is that necessary? Is it necessary to let yourself go that much? Have fun. Shoot, have fun. Absolutely, because that's more important actually. But one of my clients said she went to an island with her husband, and he just wanted to sit and watch TV. When he got there, he's complaining, oh, this is too hot. And he wants to go and watch the TV that he watched, and it took him forever. She had to pull teeth to get him to go, first of all. And when he went, he wanted to go and watch. See, foot off the brake, foot off the gas in every area of their lives. Why would you go to an island, spend money to go, and imagine being his partner and she's full of life, and but she's hanging. This is where, Cody, I'm going to be real here. This is where you interview couples, and they say, we're just roommates. We've been roommates for the last 20 years. There's nothing going on. There's no passion. There's no this, no that. And after the kids leave from university, they'd end up divorcing because they've been roommates for 20 years. Because there's nothing being invested in them and then in the relationship as well. So it's essential, Code, that and people vilify you for posting. Well, your friends were joking, but otherwise, other people do. Look at this guy. If you're in shape, he's on steroids. I look at he's on something. I look at Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz looks fantastic.
Oh, he's in amazing shape, man. Okay, I've seen them recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
I reposted.
I respect it.
And I repost him. So you know what people say if you look at the comments? Oh, well, if I had money, I would have. No, you're lying. You're lying. If you had money, you'd be doing the same damn thing you're doing now. It's nothing to do with money.
There's a lot of people with money that aren't in shape.
All right. Okay. Exactly. The man is in pristine shape because why? He's probably avoided the vices of the dinners and the banquets he could go to, and a lot of stuff he could eat, whatever he wants. He could order Uber. He's disciplined himself to be on a certain regime that leads to this outcome that he has now. It's not luck. So, but you'll watch the comments, and more comments will say, well, if I had money, if I had his money, he probably has a dietitian. And stop it. Just stop it. Right? Just say I'm not putting in the work. So anyways,
just be honest.
Be honest. Come on, let's stop. But anyways,
I respect the honesty.
You. Yeah. People vilify you for doing things to take care of yourself. And we reward the party animal. Look, wasted, So anyways, you have to be bold. Post. When you post, it comes with a bit of trepidation. I know think about it. The last time you posted something about your body, it took a lot of thinking. What do people get?
Yes.
We're so worried.
Your finger hovers over it. Like, should I do this?
No, wait, I won't do. No.
Yeah. I've been there.
Right? Yeah, and then
Have you been there, or you're not? You're past that.
Absolutely, every time.
Okay.
Every time, because I do not. Okay, Cody. So here's the thing. You remember, go back to the first time we started talking, just in this podcast. I said I like to be different, and I love freedom. I love to be unique. So every time I get that thought, Alvin, man, and I danced a lot online too, and people hate that too. I see people say, "Oh, look all these, well, you gotta be on there dancing all these people get on here and TikTok on there." Anyways, but I get on and I dance. I love music and dance. So I do what I want to do. But I will say, before I hit post, I do have the same trepidation. Alvin, man, you're 58 years old. You're a father. You're a professional in there. Should you? And the minute all that narrative comes up, Cody, hit. Done.
That's when you hit?
It's out. Yeah, because I do
Okay.
not want to listen to that. I do
Yes.
not want to listen to that. The minute I give in to that, I'm going to give in to everything else.
So you've learned how that sensation that you would get, initially you think that means, oh, this isn't a good idea. But then you reach a point in your life when you recognize that that fear is
Yeah.
actually something that's telling you
The
to do it.
box. The box.
It's
Yeah,
telling
the
you to
box
do
is
it.
calling you.
But most people, it would make them shy away. I have
box
one
is
last
calling
question
you.
for you to respect your time because I know that you have
No
to leave.
problem.
I just wanted to ask you about your experience boxing.
Yeah.
You have a lot of experience boxing,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never done any self-defense martial arts
Yeah.
in my life. It's something that it's gotten interesting to me. I would like to do something, whatever the discipline is. It doesn't matter. I have no idea, but there's something
Yeah.
that I would like to do at some point.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, I think it would be just in terms of time and scheduling, probably me hiring a private person to like come to me to help me, just
Yeah.
because you know how
Yeah.
life gets hectic, right?
Yeah.
But what I want to ask you just about whether it's boxing, martial arts, I can see because I've never I think I proudly say this, like I've never been in a fight in my life.
Yeah.
I just never needed to. Okay,
Right.
but I would like to know how to protect myself if something ever happened,
Yeah.
and I can see how that would make me just in life a more confident person.
Yeah.
So my last question to you, and when you're done responding, we'll end it. Is
Yeah, it's okay.
how has your experience with self-defense martial arts work changed your mentality on a day-to-day basis in terms of confidence?
That's a great question, which I've never been asked before. Um, but it's a great question. So, I'll tell you why it's a great question. Because when I was very young, I was the I'm the youngest. So my mom had 5 kids. I'm the youngest of that 5. My father went off and had another 3. So it's kind of this weird thing. But anyways, I'm the youngest. Let's call it the youngest of 5, of my mom's side. My siblings were always fighters because we grew up in Jamaica. They were tough, and I was the baby of the family, so I didn't have to be tough. I was protected by them, and I'm a peacemaker by nature. And so, anyways, but I always thought it was a weakness. I was like, "What's wrong with me, man? Why are they so tough?" And I like to, sing "Kumbaya" and all this stuff, right? So, but I used to look at it as a weakness. So, growing up, I said, I'm gonna learn how to protect myself. I'm gonna be tough like them. And so my first thing I started was I didn't have any money. So when I started high school, I went into wrestling because it was it's you needed a singlet and the school teaches you how to do it. So I wrestled, started it, and then I met somebody and he introduced me to martial arts. I took taekwondo, and the guy allowed me to go for free and pay what I could because I was paying on my own and all that kind of thing. And then that got me a black belt, and then that led to another thing. And then boxing, I found boxing at the local community center. I started to box, and it led to another jiu-jitsu and hapkido. So I've studied a lot of different things. And you know what I learned, Cody? At the end of the day, what it teaches you to do is not to fight. I used to think that being tough was the game. I want to be the baddest man. In some part of my head, I want to be the baddest man on the planet. Know all these things, and I'm gonna protect myself. As you said, if I ever, but Cody, the more I learned how to fight, the less I wanted to fight. It's almost like when people say, "Get rich, go get rich," because you realize that money isn't everything. Well, go get a degree, go get a black belt, go do whatever else, because you realize that fighting isn't. If you talk to a fighter, a professional fighter, MMA and whatever, the toughest person in the world, and they say, and they have a child, and they say, would you want your child to box? They say no, they don't want him to, because they realize it's not everything. So what it taught me, it gave me a chance to relax. It gave me a chance to realize that the loudest guy in the room usually is the softest, the easy to beat. The quietest person in the room, you don't mess with them because they are confident enough to not need anybody to know what they do. And so when you get, it's almost like money. The wealthy, rich talks a lot. Oh, I got money, and they got the cars, and they got the wealthy. You won't even know they're wealthy. They drive old cars. They da da da. They have generational money. The rich has money that lasts now, and if they're lucky, when they die, they might have some left, but they don't have any. The wealthy, generational. So, it's the same kind of thing, Cody. When you learn to do these things, you learn you actually don't need to, fight and go do all of this stuff. People cut you off. I just keep my head straight now. I don't bother. And you also learn that there's people tougher than you out there. You can never be the toughest guy out there. Somebody's got a gun. Somebody's got something else. A little child can carry a gun. In a bad area, an 8-year-old could shoot you. So you're never going to be the baddest on the planet. It was only my fantasy in my head, but the more I learned to defend myself, the less I wanted to fight, and it was more in alignment. I walk around with a sense of confidence. I've never needed to. It's like people with money. They don't brag. They don't do anything. You can't tell, but people they got to put on the chains and they got to have the wallet and they flash the wealthy. I work with a guy he works with the wealthy. He's a cook. He's a chef, private chef. And he works with billionaires and millionaires. And he says, Alvin, you should see. When I go to them, you would never know. They drive pickup trucks. They got Muskoka cottages, and they let them use a cottage in the island somewhere, and you never know. You never know. So that's the beauty. That's the beauty of getting that confidence, right?
Excellent wisdom. Excellent wisdom, Alvin. Thank you for your time. Let's do
Yeah,
this again
anytime.
sometime,
You
perhaps.
got it. Anytime. You let me know. You let me know when. I love to share. So, and I got a whole wealth of experience. So I'll share.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome. I hope what we shared helps somebody out there. Take one thing. I'll leave you with this before we go. My mentor, Dr. Tom Hill, he said this, and I'll leave my audience with this. I'll leave your audience with it. He says, one idea, well executed, can change your life forever. So if you heard one idea, don't listen to this podcast to get 20 ideas. One idea, and if you execute it, it can change your life forever. So
That's awesome.
awesome.
Thank you.